Alright guys, so yesterday's show here in the 100x Club, I explained that I believe the market has to push into this higher time frame equilibrium, which is the 50% retrace, which just happened now. So if you look at this is what we've been discussing about 2.96 trillion. Market literally just touched 2.96 trillion and started to reject as I was expecting here. But the problem is that this is not a real rejection. This is not what I've been looking for. So there's a lot of things that can happen today, especially considering the fact that there is going to be a rate hike in Japan coming in on Friday. There's a lot to talk about. If you don't know who I am, my name is 𝗏𝗏 and I bring you these updates. Been here since 2016, dedicated my life to helping you achieve the same financial freedom that I did. 100x Club because I'm 100xing my wealth through trading and investing in the next 10 years. It's a long game. If this is something interesting for you, come and tune in. I do these daily updates every single day, 5 to 10 minutes, and it helps you navigate the market. I also have a community, link in the description. You can join in there as well. Now, let's talk about this. So the way these are designed is that you have to watch them every day, right? So yesterday, I said that from 2.9 trillion, we have to have this push. I believed to have this push. And you see that is what is happening. There was a 2.5% push in here, and then seemingly a rejection on that 50%. Why 50%? Because markets always retrace 50%. Always. It just happens sooner or later. Like you can look here. This is the 50% of this leg. This is, I would actually argue, I don't know if that is, but let's see. No, it wasn't 50%, but this was. So 50% of that leg. So there's always a 50% retrace on the markets. And right now, the 50% retrace is at 2.96 trillion. And I said that I want to see a rejection from that level, basically what I drafted here, with a market structure shift, like a clear rejection on that level. Now, the problem is that I have not seen a clean rejection. If you've been here for a long time, you know that I'm actually looking for a strong level. Now, even though this level does not have 3 consecutive candles, I consider this to be a strong level. The reason is because of the massive liquidation week, taking liquidity and immediately reversing in a V shape. So I would say this is a safe level, but if not, then this here is definitely 2.9 trillion, okay? So when we started when the market started retracing, I was like, holy cow, like when we hit this, there was a 5-minute market structure shift, like you can see it here and here, but this is not sufficient enough, especially not in these conditions, and the market is shit, and there's low liquidity, and the market is dumped like crazy. So I want to see a 15-minute at least to confirm the continuation lower, which would be targeting at least this liquidity down here at 2.83, okay? So it's a very important level. So because we did not see, because the market didn't show us a market structure shift down here, I still can't short. I can't. We've been shorting. I took the trades. I do have some of the trades running here. It's fine. I'm not missing it, you know, all that stuff, but I can't short. So what I'm looking for, yet again, is either a close below this level at 2.9 trillion, and then I can look for short positions, or it is a retrace again to 2.96, and then the rejection from there. Something like this. It can come from here, it can come from here, it can come from wherever, but I want to see a strong liquidation of this high, a new high created, and then an immediate rejection. This is kind of what I want to see play out, and that is when I take a short position. If we continue dumping here, by the way, I am going to look for a long, because if this retraces and rejects and we go lower, that means that we're down here at this 4-hour order block I've been talking about so much. That was basically elevator up on this leg and only stairs down, and we're at a very strong level, which could result in a pump, especially considering the fact that the daily equilibrium is up here at 3.21 trillion. So I would not be surprised if we would see that push. Now, I don't think that push is happening from here. I do believe that there needs to be liquidity taken from the bottom here and then show a market structure shift and then go. If this plays out, before this plays out, I am going to take a long position and target these highs up here at 3.21 trillion. If and when that happens. So TLDR, I am still bullish on a short. No, that's not true. No, I'm not. Someone actually sent me yesterday messages like, stop the bullish sauce. I'm like, bitch, what are you talking about? I've been calling for the bear market since October. But anyway, so I'd rather say I want to see this pump happen, even though I know that I believe that we're gonna continue lower. I want to see this happen because that would mean that the market completes the 50% on the daily, and then we can reject and then go lower 2.7, 2.6, whatever. So I want to see that happen. But at this stage, I can only play the chart, and the chart is telling me, I think the most likely scenario, again, two scenarios, most likely is that the market is going to push here, reject from above the 2.96 trillion after making a new close above on the 15-minute chart, and that's the opportunity short. I am going to short if it plays out like this. And the second possibility is that it just retraces to this order block up here and then rejects from there and goes all the way down here and shows a market structure shift, and that's a long opportunity. So I'm going to look for the true draw on liquidity. One is up here at 2.96 and the other one is down here at 2.88. Either of these directions happen, I am going to take either a short if we pump first or a long if we dump first. That is what I'm looking at. Now, super important. There is going to be a Bank of Japan decision on Friday, okay? Now, you will hear a lot of noise, and I would just want you to close all the noise out. I'm here to explain to you why this is important and what it actually means. So Bank of Japan, there is a yen carry trade, right? Which we've been talking about last year and this year actually, that people could basically borrow money in yen for basically no interest. So now they're going to raise the interest to less than to 0.75%, which means that you could borrow for 0.75% and you could just put it in an S&P 500 or a government bond in the US and get 4% on your money and bang the difference. Like, it was such an easy thing to do. But Japan basically realizes this. Inflation is above 2%. It's not to fuck the world economy, which everybody will tell you here on Twitter and YouTube, but it is just to fix their own shit. And that, yes, results in increasing the interest rates. But also, it's super important to note that they are still at 0.75%. It's not like, oh my God, I'm going to be in minus. If I borrow for 0.75% and I get 4% interest on my government bond, I still have 3.25% that I can play with, but it just shows a trajectory that will eventually unwind all yen carry trade positions. Now, I do think the yen carry trade FUD is behind us, and even though there is a lot of posts that you can, reason, you can say that there has been a massive sell-off in Bitcoin every time this happened, and that is true. I do not think the bottom is in because of the yen carry trade, but I do think that it can happen, that could be something else is all behind us and can have the rally that I've been talking about happening from there, even going to the daily. We are yet to see, but very, very, very important, okay? There were two times when 2024 and 2025, the two times, last times when they hiked. One was here in March 2024. Now that resulted in a 182-day consolidation, okay? And the second was in January 2025, which resulted in a 30% dump and an 80-day consolidation. But times are different. Bitcoin from the October high is down about 32%. I do not think that this alone will result in another 25-30% on Bitcoin. I don't think that makes any sense, okay? And this is widely priced in. So what I believe can happen again is that it can ignite this rally that I've been waiting for, primarily going back to the equilibrium on the daily chart. So if you look at this, there is actually, no, it's up here. Yes, it's up here. Yes. So can happen that it ignites a rally, about a 10% rally to 95,000, between 95,000 and 113,000. So this entire range could be targeted, something like this, and then rejection, last spike down 70,000, down to the weekly order block as we talked about, or the monthly order block down here as well, and then just go from there. I do believe that is a possibility. But just don't take this whole Bank of Japan situation way too seriously, because you're just gonna burn yourself. I don't think it's that relevant. We're gonna take it as it comes, but it's not that relevant now. Couple of more things. One is that I do have the bot running. I mean, if you're in a community, there is a community. It's completely free. I don't know why it's not loading now, but it's completely free. Okay, it's on Telegram. There's a link in the description. You can join in, and I'm sharing my thoughts. Obviously, nothing is financial advice. Investing is risky. Do your own research and invest what you can afford to lose and all that. But I do believe that it makes a lot of sense. I posted this trade 6 days ago. Look at this, 6 days ago. And I said, this is Birdie's telling me that this is a runner, and it's up 84% since then. On the bot, if you just longed it because you have big balls of steel, then you're up 300%, as Cos did He long at 10x. It's up 30-35% since we actually taken the trade. So join in there. I will update you about what I see happening. We do have this greenness happening here, but there is a mixture as well. We yet to see what is going to happen. I do believe, again, that we're going to get a retrace here. And if we do, I am going to short it. But it can happen that we just consolidate here. And then there is a dump on happening on the Bank of Japan Friday meeting. And then we long from there. Guys, truly appreciate you tuning in. Check out this video. It's going to be a trading video. If you are into trading, AMD, accumulation, manipulation, distribution, you can see that if you haven't. Or if you have, just refresh your memory. Come back tomorrow. I want to see how this plays out. And if we're taking it long or short, come back tomorrow. It's worth the time, 10 minutes. And then we can take it from there. And also join the community, pin the Telegram group so you can get the latest update. Truly appreciate you. And I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you here. Take care.